You have shitty Wi-Fi probably.
We are live officially. Guys, how is it going? We are here for Lights Camera Collect every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I will say, yeah, Carlos, it's your Wi-Fi, bro. Because 1080p on this channel now, on these live streams. It's coming in crystal clear, but doubled my StreamYard price. So yeah, hope it's worth it. So yeah, man, it's worth it.
My internet's a gig.
It's for the people. It's a gig. That's what mine is. I have a Comcast actually.
And
So,
Comcast sucks.
yeah.
I got AT&T fiber.
is it a gig?
Oh.
Over a gig.
Nice. Well, mine Comcast does suck from time
And
to
why
time.
do you look so damn blurry?
That's you then. That is on you. I am crispy.
that's on your shitty internet, Carlos.
Dude,
But,
I'm
guys-
gonna do a
Sound
live
like it's
speed
time
test
out.
right now. Let's
Guys,
see here.
thank you
go.
so much for joining. Yeah, do a live speed. That's 200.
Let me
200.
see.
Yeah, I'm at 200 megabytes right now.
He freeze?
That's pretty good. Yeah, he froze for a second. It's because he's speed testing. That's why he's taking all his bandwidth.
I have a gig. My internet's so good. I'm a freeze in the live stream.
Yeah, whatever you say, Carlos. Anyway,
Far from the router.
yeah, exactly. Guys, so we're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff tonight. Of course, we got an amazing, handsome, awesome, talented, prolific panel that we have here with these two, right? And I'm just like here to, keep the show on the rails, right? And that's going to be difficult with Carlos here, but we are going to make it happen. Guys, we're going to talk about the Groot, the Grail to end all Grails. That's what that is.
Place for collecting.
So, yeah, exactly. That too. But Queen Studios Hulkbuster, $72,000. That's just not for any collector, right? That's it's not for me. I know that for sure. The
I have some
Mandalorian
thoughts.
Swoop bike, the longevity of figures, some other stuff. Because I'm going to incriminate myself a little bit. I put a poll up. I don't know if you saw this, Keco. I put a poll up on my on my community tab on my channel. Right, I was like, "What topics would you guys want to see? Let's select some topics for the upcoming show and stuff." And then I used all of them. So I took all of them. I took the most popular ones and tried to put those first. But I needed all those topics. So I got to find a new way to do this because I needed all those topics to fill a show. And I think they're all good topics and they all had a decent amount of votes. So I took them all. But it was good to know what you guys want to see. So I'll keep doing that in the future. Anyway, we'll get into all the topics, but let's address the panel. Then we'll address the chat and get into our first topic. Carlos, Mr. Place for Collecting. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to actually stream with Keco and own him at all topics today.
Oh, this will be
But,
fantastic.
You know what's
You
going to be
wish,
really good,
you wish.
Keco? What you should do is go put on a black shirt so we can all match. So you can be the black shirt.
Okay,
crew
I can
for
do that in a
today.
second. Yeah. After we do our
Yeah.
intro, I'll switch.
3
up.
black
Nice.
shirts.
Cool. There you go. 3 black shirts. That's what's kind of like 2 girls in a cup, but 3 black
Exactly.
Whoa.
3 black shirts. We're doing it. We're setting a new standard for a live stream.
shirts. New standard. Black shirts or you're out, bitch. But yeah, I'm all good. Thank you for having me, bro. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for joining, man. Thanks for setting the black shirt standard that we're all now apparently following. And Mr. Keco, horse tamer. How you doing, man? House horse.
House of
You
the
know.
Horse, Prince that was promised in Drago, my little baby.
That's true.
He's doing great, by the way. Thank you for the love and support on that. But yeah, it's exciting to be back here on Lights, Camera, Keco, as I'm getting ready to go and switch to my black shirt once we start this first topic, because I do want to be in uniform with everybody. I don't want to feel like I'm not
Yeah, of course.
participating. So that's a good thing. But yeah, man, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah,
And-
man. I
but
should have told you that
I have an
beforehand.
issue. Yeah, I have an issue with Carlos thinking that, okay, yeah, this is going to be a self-own the entire time. Well, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, Carlos.
Hey, I don't know.
I'm just here to monitor. I'm like, all right, I'm like the referee in the wrestling or the
It's like
wrestling
Mayweather
or whatever.
McGregor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pacquiao,
No,
Mayweather,
no, not
whatever
at
the
all.
ones that were
Not
there.
at
This is like
No, because the
Jake Paul
Mayweather
and-
McGregor, it was competitive. Today is not going to be very competitive at all.
Oh, so
Yeah.
this is Logan Paul, Roman Reigns. This is
Yeah,
scripted.
basically.
Okay. By the way, Jake
Yeah.
Paul is a grifter and a fraud.
Well, we should
Oh,
clip that.
wow.
So we should put
Yeah,
that in
that's
the video.
that's our core. Coming from
Yeah.
a Tennessee man, that's our core.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tennessee is awesome, dude. Benny, thank you so much, Benny. I love that
get my
username for the
shirt. Hold
super
on.
sticker. Thanks so much, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, Kiko, take your time, man, because we're going to run through the chat. Benny, thanks so much, man. A super chat right off the bat. That really does mean a lot, man. So thank you a lot. So, all right, guys, let's address the rest of the chat. Funky Cold Santa, what's up, Funky Cold Santa? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Ro Moreno, it's the weekend. Hell yeah, it is the weekend, bro. Friday is officially the weekend at this point. Maniac Collects channel member. Thanks so much, bro, for being a channel member. Evening all, Maniac Collects. Ro Moreno, how's it going? Absolutely good. Hope it's good for you, Ro. Let's see, Simon. Happy Friday, gang. Another great panel. Yeah, man. I assembled an Avengers level panel here. I tried to anyway. Sayful. Good Friday, everyone, and good morning, America. Yes, absolutely. Yee. Hello, everyone. I like to say it like Yee. That's how I read that username. Josh 008. I don't know. Wait, Josh, I'm not sure if that 008 is supposed to be something. Oh, look at that, bro. Will, you're dope. I love your content. Dude, that means a lot, man. Those type of comments I really do appreciate. For you to take the time out of your day to say a nice thing about me. So it really does mean a lot, man. I love, by the way, Keco, I love the black shirt, bro. So do you guys, before we address the rest of the chat, we'll answer this really quickly. Do you guys wear like tighter shirts or do you wear like looser fitting shirts? Yeah, see, Keco, I'm with you. I wear like a tighter shirt. You know
what were you doing there, Keco? Flexing?
Well, I wasn't flexing. I was just kind of showing the form fitting. You know, I don't
One thing I would recommend, no sponsorship here, True Classic t-shirts. Really like those.
Oh, they are nice.
Really like those. Yeah. Is that what you get, Carlos?
No, but they are nice.
Yeah, they are nice. I really like them. So tighter fitting t-shirts all around for all three of us?
Yeah,
there's a difference between like the tight dry fit type of thing, because that could go really poorly if you don't have the body for it. Right. But I'm a huge fan of like the tri-blend, which is what this is, you know, the cotton polyester thing. That way you don't have to worry about it shrinking too much. It fits you well. I go for the athletic fit. That's what I go for. But
okay, athletic fit. Okay.
Yeah.
Carlos, your answer is no. I'm athletically chubby, yes.
Okay. Well, you can still wear tight shirts, dude. It's fine. So
I just wear tighter stuff somewhere else.
Boxers, yeah.
Boxers. Exactly.
Tighty whities, you mean? Tighty whities.
Yep,
yo, hey, good for health. Hey, yo, what's up, Gilbert Almazan? What's up, everyone? Jazzy, what's up, collectors? Comics, swag. I think that StreamYard is where it's at, pretty reliable, but hope they add more customization features in the future. Absolutely, man, absolutely. So, but it's pretty reliable. It's old faithful and reliable. Andreas IB, hi all, Sayful again, 12-inch moose stream. Tyria, how many doll hairs? Too many, bro. Andrew James said Carlos looking like a, what is it? Zaddy?
Zaddy, yeah.
Zaddy? Okay.
Zaddy.
Yeah, Zaddy. What does that mean, Keco? Like, is it?
I don't know.
I know there's like, you know, there's your daddy, but then there's your zaddy. I think it's just like another term.
Okay.
I'm not really that hip, so I'm gonna be honest.
I'm too old for this, bro. Yeah. But
you have Rangers. What do you mean you're not that hip?
Which I realize that it
was a mistake.
It's past my prime.
Mo Collection, hello there. Chris Sanders, hey everyone, hope you all had a great day. You too, Chris Sanders. Tukathri, what's up, gentlemen? Mike Fayella with the exclamation point. He's got it glued down, man. Wow, Carlos, absolutely. Andrew James said, I'm the man. Andrew, you are actually the man in reality. Sayful, 2 hand pegs, 1 peg hole. Nice. I like that. Patent 23, hello, everyone. Mr. Mom Collectibles. What's up, Mr. Mom? I got to talk to you on Instagram today. Mark Attack, hello to all listening while I study. Oh, dude. Well, hopefully you can retain the information from your studying. Maybe not from us. Depends, right? Natalie G. Yeah, Carlos the Prophet, WillFoxification, and Zach Keco Morris. Look at the fine fellas. Dude. Nice. And Keco, you're going to have to explain that one to me soon. Let's see. Agree. Hey, how's it going, guys? Leighton Richards. Swoop bike inbound. Nice, man. We're going to talk about the swoop bike. We're going to preview it. So Keco always flexing with those hazmat BB figures I need. Yeah. Keco's just a constant flexer. That's what he does. MB Dyson, what's up? Anyone score Nebula or Hulkbuster? We're going to talk about the life-size Hulkbuster. So maybe. Lane Kramer, what's up, Lane? How's it going, man? Christian Lopez, yo. Nishan, what's up, guys? Andy H said, I agree with Carlos. Nice.
Thank you.
So Lane's asking a question. Do you think pricing will pick up on Swoop Bike 236? Still needs to wait till Chrome Manor comes out. Yeah, I think so. We're going to talk about it, Lane. Don't you worry, because we're going to get into it. Pablo Meza, KG Collector. What's up, KG? How you doing, man? All right, guys.
KG.
Let's address, because this we got to hit the most hard-hitting topic first. It's Groot.
All right.
It's Grail Groot. GG. It's Grail Groot, because we need to talk about this Groot, because I still can't really decipher if this is life size. I think it is, right? I think it's 1 to 1.
Life size.
Yeah, because it's like 10 inches tall. So to me, this Groot is retailing at $275 for the deluxe or $219 for the standard. That is very interesting. So this is going to be from the Groot show that comes out. Is that out yet, right? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's out. It's like little mini shows, mini series.
I knew it was coming out at some point. And it was going to be like little mini episodes, but I wasn't sure. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about it, which shows you
5 minutes.
Yeah, which shows you, I guess, how much it's caught on that no one's really talking about, at least in our sphere, right? So I'm going to start with Keco first on this one. Keco, for this life-size Groot, the question is not how good is it, but how many are you going to buy?
I have the definitive Baby Groot, life size.
Oh, the
Oh,
Guardians.
look at that
This
one.
is the
Send it to
one
me.
from Guardians Volume 2. It is the one
Mhm.
with the Ravager outfit. It comes with the multiple face plates and the different hands, things like that. This is the definitive Groot that actually contributed to the story. So this, the I Am Groot, whatever this is, was a complete cash grab for people that they're like, ooh, let's continue to capitalize on Baby Yoda and make something. And that's where I Am Groot came from. I mean, we already know that Baby Groot is no longer a thing in the MCU because he's grown up. He's a tree. He continues to grow. So this is just a let's grab some people that really like cuteness and see if we can't sell a few of these. Now, if you have this one already, then I don't see the real need for this. Do you really want him in his Ravager outfit where he did something, or do you want him dressed like a fern? Do you want him dressed in some jammies? You know, it's for people with disposable income that's like, I might as well just put this on the shelf. This is funny, but it's not something by any means that I'm putting in my collection by any means.
Yeah, I'm with you, Keco, on this one. It does look kind of funny, and it would be something like I've always
It's
said.
great to pose around. If you want to do like Elf on a Shelf, during the holidays,
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken pictures before with him, like in like the Christmas tree or with Christmas lights being cute. I've taken pictures of him with Draco and with Grogu, my life-size Grogu, and things like
Nice.
that. And it's fun, but
Yeah.
this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
One
that's
thing I would say, Keco, also is that if you were gonna like remember how I mentioned to people that if you're gonna have like certain collectibles in your room and to attract a woman, they would want to be cuter collectibles. This would be it,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So if you were gonna buy any collectible to say like, hey, this is the one collectible that I can maybe use to say this woman thinks I'm not like a 40-year-old virgin, right? But sometimes we get that unfair stigma as collectors. This would probably be the one, right? Because they would look at this and be like, oh, that's from Target, right? And you could lie if you wanted and be like, yeah, it is. You could be like, I picked it like it was for my nephew, but I just kept it. You know what I mean? You could just be like something like that.
But did you know that because before I had this official one, did you know, minus all these accessories, if you want the naked one, they have an official knockoff one for $30 on eBay that you can get the exact same one.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
$30. And I had it before this one, and it's the exact same thing. It's a same from the same mold, all that stuff. The only thing you don't get is the alternate face plates and the different hands, but it's the exact same figure. And if you want to pay $30 for it, it even comes with like some cardboard little speakers, because remember he danced to the little speakers in Guardians 2. So I mean, that's an option if you don't want to pay $270. But I do like the pajamas. I'm not gonna lie there, but
yeah, cool.
Sure. If you want to impress one of the ladies and say, hey, look how cool I am, then yes, this probably is one of the cuter ones. Although I think most people will associate the cuteness with a Grogu. Most people will be like, oh, I know that. That's the Baby Yoda guy.
Yeah, the Baby Yoda.
A lot of people may not know this. And if you say, hey, who's your favorite Guardian of the Galaxy? Huh? Most people don't know that, honestly, to be honest.
They're going to be like, what is that? Like an anime? What is that?
Pretty
They're
much.
not going to know. But I say it kind of jokingly, but I do feel like with this Groot, I'm sure there'd be some people out there who want it, right? But I think it's probably pretty likely to be discounted, would be my guess. Unless, like what Carlos has been talking about, maybe this is not a high pre-order figure. Maybe they just don't make a ton, right? Maybe they're just like, well, we're just going to make 55 Groots and call it a day. But it's nice that people are getting another option at a life-size Baby Groot. I mean, because there's going to be people out there probably that are looking for that. So it's not for me. Just to jump in here before Carlos, it's not for me. I do think it looks pretty cool. It has like that cuteness factor that I'm sure the show and the figure are both going for, and it does look like a faithful representation to the character from what I remember from Guardians 2. So this doesn't seem too far off. That's pretty interesting. I don't know that I would pay about $300 out the door for this, because I could get this or Cad Bane, right? So for most people, it's like that's a very, very, very easy decision. But for some out there, they might want every Baby Groot. So what do you think, Carlos? How do you feel about this I Am Groot Grail here?
Well, I agree with Keco.
Do we have this recorded? I was want to hear it.
Yeah, we want to record that. It's going to be clipped. So
I agree with Keco. I mean, you really don't. I don't want to say you don't need it, because technically we don't need anything, right?
Yeah.
And any of these collectors that I need. But I would say this is on the bottom tier of needs. This is going to be one of those like, hey, we can't sell Captain Marvel, but if you do buy her, we're going to throw this in for like free or something like that. It's going to be like Stan Lee Barber type deals. You know what I mean? Or because I just don't see a lot of people going after this. They probably went after this just because they felt like, oh, well, like if we make this, because that Groot you have, Keco, that one's going pretty good on the aftermarket, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he goes for like
on eBay.
450. Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes for
So
like
so they're
450.
like, hey, let's see whoever wanted a Groot and didn't get a chance to get one. Maybe we'll make this. But the bigger thing here that I'm surprised by is that I think at this point, this confirms it, and I was really waiting for this. It's that, and I kind of knew it, but every single Marvel property, it doesn't matter how good or bad it is, we're gonna get figures from it. Because if
It
we got
needs at
figures
least
from
one.
this, at least one, like that means we're gonna get a She-Hulk, right? She's coming. She's gonna, and that's gonna be an interesting one. So that's what this tells me. Like anything that's Marvel or Disney owned, we're gonna get something from it. So that's probably the most interesting thing and that about this figure is that it confirms for me something that I've been curious about, and it's confirming it 100% now. So
Well, Carlos, I'm wondering if maybe they have a contractual obligation from Marvel to say every single MCU release needs at least one figure. I'm wondering if
I would
that might be something
say
they might have.
I would say a Disney thing, right? Like
yeah, maybe it's a Disney
Disney
thing.
is like you must make something now from everything. So like we're gonna get probably something from what's that? Oh, Andor, Miss Marvel, all these different things. You're gonna get something because I've seen all of these just because my little nephew wanted to see it. I think there's maybe like 5 episodes and each one's like 3 to 5 minutes long, something like that.
This would be good for
what I mean?
kids, don't you think?
Yeah, so it's like if they're gonna make this, like they're gonna make everything.
Well, what if,
I mean?
and Keco, I could
The
throw this one to
N1
you.
baby is coming.
Yeah, it will. It will. Keco doesn't believe it, but Keco, what if I throw this one to you? Like, for example, Carlos just threw out like She-Hulk, right? What if they go and say Professor Hulk reissue from She-Hulk, right? And they don't even make She-Hulk. They could do that, and then because She-Hulk's got to be an expensive figure to make, and no one's gonna buy it.
I don't think so. I
Because
think
it's a
they would
brand new
do
body. It's got to be seamless. Like it, it's like it's green. Like
how much you look? If I'm
don't know.
Hot Toys, I'm like, yo, I was gonna say this B, but it's a female, so like this figure is gonna have all the joints in the world. So we can make
they're gonna half-ass the hell out of it.
Yeah, they're just like, we're just gonna make something. You know what I mean? And there you go. And then Disney's gonna be like, oh, but why does She-Hulk have joints? Hey, Electro had joints, visible joints. So we're not being picky here. Like, it's just what we want to do. Exactly. So hey, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, Keco, what do you think? Is that something you could foresee, like sort of a contractual thing where they have to make something?
I don't know because we've waited forever to get a lot of things. We're still waiting on Hawkeye Clint, but we do have Kate Bishop.
Yep.
We have.
There you go.
We only got one Moon Knight. We only got one. Okay, but we never got anything from Werewolf by Night, which I don't know if they can do because of the occult and things like that. I don't know if they'll do anything with that, but I mean, I don't even know who you would really do from that. Would you do a man thing? Spoiler, everybody. Would you do a man thing? I mean, what? I mean, I don't think there's anybody interesting. I don't think there's anybody interesting enough that you would want to do a figure out of. I mean, because even just the werewolf wouldn't really do much. I don't know that. I don't know if they're contractually out. They might be able to pick and choose and be like, "Hey, I'd like you to see what you can do with these things." I don't know. I mean, because there's no figure there. I mean, there's no way that they say they are going to do a She-Hulk line.
Sure.
Who would they pick? Would they put Daredevil from She-Hulk or Professor Hulk from She-Hulk?
Yeah.
But why would in the world would you not make a She-Hulk then? Because that doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you'll get a lot of people being upset that
Explain to me why they decided to make a Gilgamesh out of all the fucking Eternals. Let's make Gilgamesh.
Because they had to make Athena, and they're like, well, might as well put someone else out there too.
Right.
We already designed this box.
How to be him,
so might as well.
And maybe an Asian actor. So yeah, could be that too.
Yeah. Hey, that's true.
But guys, let's move on from Groot. Like I said, I'm sure there's a market out there for it, but it's just not us, it seems, right? Let's go to the market that is for us. Hulkbuster, baby. Hulkbuster, $72,000 Hulkbuster. This is for Carlos, really. But guys, Queen Studios, if you didn't catch the news, Queen Studios announced a 1-to-1 scale Hulkbuster from Avengers Age of Ultron that is now up for pre-order. The deposit is just a small amount of $28,500. So this thing, I mean, you can't deny it's a grail. I mean, I don't think there's anything like this that exists really in the world that you can purchase. So it's pretty remarkable in that sense alone. Clearly it's outside of us, and I'd be willing to bet most people in the chat's price range, unless you want to bankrupt yourself. And where in God's name would you even put this thing? You'd have to have a warehouse of some kind. So, but I doubt they're going to make too many of these. This thing is what, like 11 feet tall, we were thinking. It's a very,
like
very,
12
very
feet.
tall piece.
I think it's like 12 feet. Yeah.
So I actually want to let Keco go first on this one because I know he's got, I think, some strong thoughts on this one. But Keco, what are your thoughts overall on this $72,000 one-to-one Hulkbuster?
So by the way, 3.5 meters is 11.4 feet. I just officially calculated that. So it's 11.4 feet. And you think about the average home having maybe 10-foot ceilings, something like that. So this isn't going to fit in the average home. As you'd mentioned, it's going to be in a warehouse potentially. Now, going to the land of Carlos, a friend of mine has a law firm in California, and Justice Headquarters is what it's called. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But either way, they have a life-size Groot in their lobby, which is an actual, not this one, but like the actual Groot, you know, and he's like 8 feet tall or whatever. And he's a giant centerpiece because they are kind of like they're like us, you know, they're collectors and things. They're lawyers that are collectors that like to, you know, use a really cool office and turn it into that. Either way, this is still exponentially bigger than even that, to where, I mean, you look at that. So I'm going to use some harsh words here. I honestly think that this is gross, putting this out there, just because it's kind of like a look what we can do kind of thing. Okay, cool. Like the people that would want this essentially would commission someone to make it for them, essentially, if you really wanted a life-size Hulkbuster. For a company to dedicate resources, and I know like it's not even available for American markets, by the way. It's only available for the Asian and European markets. So with that being said, is that it just seems very odd that they dedicated resources for something like this that no one essentially is going to be able to have or obtain. I went through and read a lot of the fine print on it. It says that it has to be put on a ground floor because it's 3 tons. That's 6,000 pounds. There's your cautions. It's approximately 3 tons. So it's 6,000 pounds, more than a car, more than most cars. And it says that you need to put signs up to keep people away from it within certain feet away. I think it's at the bottom there. It says when you display this, put at least 2 to 3 meters away from the statue to avoid the statue being climbed upon by people that didn't assemble it. Which it's insane to me. It just seems like this isn't for a collector. This is something that this is not for us. This is not marketed to us. I would love to know the people that are, no doubt, I'm sure there will be somebody that gets it just to dick around with it. But the spacing limitations. And as I said, I just think it's gross to put that out there when I saw someone, not trying to act holier than thou by any means, but someone put that there's like, in a world where people are struggling to afford groceries, you put this up for sale. And, you know, I just think it's a little toned up. Yeah, we all love to like buy things, you know, as our hobbies, but this one's just a little bit out there for me, just because $72,000 for a 6-ton, 12-foot statue. Commission somebody to build this. I don't think the company should have been wasting their resources on this.
Yeah, dude. That's dude, Keco, I'm glad you got to share that live, bro, because you warned me about the cold hard take that you were going to have on this Hulkbuster, but I wasn't expecting it to go that deep. Yeah, cuz so the Keco, the one, and before I let Carlos go on this one.
And sorry for steamrolling everybody on that. I wanted to share that.
I think it creates a really good conversation, because the one thing I would say, Keco, is this. Like with this Hulkbuster, I think I get what you're saying when we're coming at it with like the gross aspect, right? When people are like struggling to buy groceries or whatever, but you could also apply that same logic to what we do, because we buy figures, we buy statues that are way higher than most people think they are. And, you know, there are plenty of people that are struggling to make ends meet and whatever, and we're buying $3,000 statues. So, I mean, I think the same logic applies, whether it's 72,000 or 1,000 or 300 or 3,000.
Yeah, there's certainly a threshold, obviously.
Yeah, but I think it's all subjective, is my point. Like it's all relative to the individual.
But I think because yesterday, this is what that upset me, is that yesterday when they announced it, someone's like, "When's this pre-order?" It said PM us for price. I know that's a joke, but honestly, Queen said PM us for price and inquiries. And I wish that it stayed that way. If you're legitimately serious about this, inquire about it and see if it works for you. Throwing it out there with all the price and all that stuff, I feel like it's a weird flex, and it just doesn't make sense to me. That's it.
There must be some market analytic in Asia that tells them this is worth their while. But
well, I mean, you look at Dubai and places like that. I mean, you might have Salt Bay putting this in front of his Dubai restaurant. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, they have crazy things like that. Maybe
Yeah.
Hasbulla will grab it. You know, I love
Yeah.
Hasby. He's on all my Instagram stuff for some reason now.
Well,
But it's strange. to
yeah,
me.
I get what you mean. Well, Carlos, hop in on this one. What do you think about this Hulkbuster? Do you agree with Keco, or how do you feel about this? You know, I know it's a hefty price tag, but what do you think?
Yeah. I don't agree necessarily with Keco thinking that this is disgusting, right? Just because is that the word you use, Keco? Disgusting?
I
Is that what
said
you said?
gross, technically.
Gross. Yeah,
Gross.
close.
I'm sorry.
It's an adjective.
Gross.
Yeah.
So gross just because at the end of the day, like you know, people buy $100,000 cars, $50,000 cars. They make, you know, it's no different than this because
It's a
you don't really
luxury
need
item.
50. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
luxury item, right? We all buy figures, right? We all buy $300, $400, $500 figures. We buy statues, but how many of us really give back, right? Not a ton of us, you know. So I couldn't say that's gross. As far as like business, I think this honestly is really smart from a business perspective. So let me tell you a couple things. There's a jewelry store, right? One of the things I learned about when I was coming up in marketing was this new jewelry store was trying to get its name out there. So what they did is they put a big ass diamond, I think it was in a frisbee or some regular item, and they priced it at like I think $1 million. The point was no one was going to buy it, but they were going to get a ton of attention, so that people can see, look at the stuff that they can make, right? And that helped them. That's called guerrilla marketing. Help them get more people in the door, right? And be able to go and see this specific diamond or this specific thing that they were making, and they, you know, knowing no one was going to buy it, so you can go and see it. Like I was back in my day, my first Rolex that I bought, I went into this jewelry store and I knew about them because they had a $50 million watch. I went in to watch it and to look at it just because I thought it was, you know, interesting to see. And I happened to eventually go to that store to buy my first Rolex when I was younger. So that's kind of what this kind of feels like. Not a lot of people are going to buy it. You're going to get people like, I think it's Roni Stark, who has been requesting one. You're going to get people like Comic Cons who are going to be asking, hey, come over to San Diego Comic Con. You're going to get a chance to see this life-size Hulkbuster, right? Real things that just actually make sense business-wise. But at the end of the day, it's a really good business move, I think, because you can show like, hey, Queen Studios is making this, right? From a let us show you how far our talent can go. This is it. What's Prime One's? Here's how far our talent can show, right? J&D is doing something similar. Here's how far our talent can show, or what we can do by having that Wonder Woman, all silicone legs, body, seamless, everything. That's kind of what they're trying to do. They've taken the, you know, the big old, hey, we are the top dogs. Here's, you know, swinging around our big peepee because here is our $100,000 piece. You know what I mean? But this only seems crazy to us because we just don't make that kind of money. But we'd be like, well, who in reality would ever buy this kind of stuff? It's like the same logic can be applied if you were to make $100,000 and be like, who in reality would buy a $60,000, $70,000 car? Well, you would. It's just that this is just harder for us to be able to place it. You know what I mean? At a time when, as Keco said, you know, people can't buy groceries. I understand that, but at the end of the day, I don't see a lot of people, you know, or maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't imagine a lot of people who are collecting are also donating, giving back. I know I do, right? But I don't.
I need to do more of it. I need to be better about that.
And I know that's fair. And I kind of just last thing I'll say about my little point about that is that when you said, you know, you go into the watch store, you know, to get a Rolex to see the $50 million watch,
Sure.
you know the price tag of a Rolex.
Mhm.
This is not within the scope of Queen's stuff. Yeah, it's cool to see this as a, kind of their banner flagship piece, but to actually offer it for sale makes it seem that that does not fit the other ballpark of the other products there. Like, what if you were like sitting there, oh, cool, because there's something you're looking for. Is like, oh, I'm never going to look at Queen because if this is what they're putting out, I can't even afford that. That's my thing, is that it's not within the ballpark.
Yeah. Gotcha. So it would set a bad, you're saying a bad precedent where like it would be
not a
inconsistent with their
precedent,
other
but the window shopping or the window dressing you're putting there is not what your product really is.
But wouldn't it be the
I
same
think
thing?
This one
like,
though, they're not selling it to the same audience. Yeah.
Right. But wouldn't this be the same thing as like the $50 million watch? You go into Queen Studios knowing that a lot of their pieces are affordable, like the quarter scale cap, who's only $800, or some
But some
$1,000
people
pieces
don't
they
know
can
that. But
make.
if and then maybe that's just maybe it's name recognition and region and stuff. But if you say Rolex, I know what you're going to be spending essentially on that, and it's all
Right.
subjective, obviously,
Yeah, I get what you
because we
mean.
all
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the different things that we collect and what we think have value and such. But for sure,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's why like I think this piece is so interesting because at very
it got
minimum,
us
Keco,
talking.
it
just
got
like
us
Carlos
talking
said.
about this, and it got
Yeah,
us talking
yeah.
about like sort of
There you
what
go.
price is crazy and what like kind of market we have here in collecting for statues and 1/6 and otherwise. So yeah, because I mean anyone that I would see, all of us talking, anyone in the groups, anyone on YouTube, unless you're a fucking baller, you're not going to buy this. But this is like this
No,
is not
yeah.
marketed for us. This is marketed probably for like really high-end stores, or like you mentioned, Keco, like maybe law guys, or like guys who make over probably over $500,000 to $600,000, maybe more a year. You're probably looking at those guys that would, or gals that would buy this, right? Or maybe if you own a comic store and you have a lot of capital and you're just like, this would be a fucking awesome piece in our store somehow, right? That would be the
It's a
type of thing.
Tax write-off plus
Right. So if you were able to do
brings
something
us
like that, so
recognition.
I think Keco, they might make less than 50 of these. I mean, like it might be
I don't
20
think
of
I don't think they make more than 20, maybe 25.
Right. So like it's not, it's
think we
really,
make
and
more
I
than
think it's, it's clearly not for me, but it is kind of like Carlos was saying, Keco, I do understand the side of it's not consistent with their other products and their pricing, but it is consistent in terms of showcasing their flex and showcasing like how good they can make shit. And like this could get a lot of people who really don't look at collecting shit, looking at Queen Studios. Like how many maybe news places might cover this piece, right? Like if
Right.
like, or like,
That's exactly what
all
it
these
is.
news articles online that'll cover like, look at this Queen Studios Hulkbuster. And then people are like, what is Queen Studios? And they're not going to find Hulkbusters, but they are going to find things maybe that are within their price range. So then at that point, Queen Studios got free marketing for releasing a piece that not many people are going to buy, but really showed the world how capable they are. And then it gets their foot in the door, so to speak.
But is it USB
Yeah,
powered? That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It's funny because someone mentioned, oh, did they have a $25,000 R2 at Disney, and this would be great at Avengers Campus. Yeah, exactly. This is licensed. Right? Like, can you imagine going there and be like, dude,
but those are for companies. And if you want to, if you want to partner with Disney, if you want to partner, well, obviously Disney, but if you want to partner with Disney, or if you want to partner with a law firm or a San Diego Comic-Con, you partner with them and be like, hey, would you be interested in this piece? Essentially, let's work it together. But then mass producing it, saying, hey, we're going to offer this up. Pre-orders start today. That just seems odd to me.
The thing is that sometimes people don't know they want it until you tell them that they should have it. So a lot of these like law offices are going to be like, hey, I didn't even know this was a thing. And now because someone covered it, now I know it is. We can fucking buy this.
Well, I just can't imagine what the shipping and let alone the assembly process is going to be.
It's probably $100 grand. There's probably all in $100 grand, 100 to 120
Yeah,
grand.
probably $20,000 to ship this.
It would probably just be like if you're shipping a car, though.
Which is pennies, right?
Yeah, that's true, Keco.
Which is pennies to some of these big old agencies who go and be like, give away, Rolexes and $100,000 here and there to their clients. So like this is for like big ballers. Like
this could be something like Von Miller could buy or something. You know what I mean? Like
like hey, he loves Marvel. I'm gonna put
Right.
this on my front yard or something. Yeah, like exactly. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this: if I was making $2-3 million a year, even $1 million, I would buy this. I don't make.
I probably would too, to be honest. Like if I was making a shit ton of money. Right.
Like
if I was making a lot of money, like I was a
million,
professional athlete or just in banking or something and making a lot of money, I'd probably consider this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even, I love Hulkbuster. I don't love him as much as like Loki, but I just think it's like a really cool piece. But I get where you're coming from. I do think people are going to share that sentiment. I do think there are a decent amount of people who will agree.
Look at Jazz Inc. Jazz Inc. We understand the whole Puttygate. Fine. I get all that. But look at their centerpiece. It's that 1989 Batwing. At the end of the day, you're going to be like, yeah, they made that. And they probably can make the N1 if no one else makes it. Because look what they're making. A 1989 Batwing that's like 5 feet by 4 feet. Hot Toys won't even make it, but they are. So that's like their piece that they can showcase and be like, it's like at the top of their game, here's what they can do. Showcasing we're the big guys, So hey, every company should do something like that in my opinion.
Well, guys, great chat on that one. Thanks for Keco
kickstarting
away
that there.
Yeah, Keco kickstarted that combo. That was great, man. So that was awesome.
That was good. I liked it.
Yeah, see, Keco, that's what he does.
We can have differing opinions.
Yeah, that's what I love. Because you started a great combo, Keco. You started like us down a certain path that we wouldn't have explored otherwise. So
Yeah, I mean, we can all talk about everything. It's not like I'm like, Keco, you're a fucking idiot. Like, no one's saying that. You know what I mean?
That's what we say offline, but
right.
yeah, right. No, not at all. So guys, let's move on to the next one. We're gonna try to get to some big picture topics. We still got like an hour, but we got to hit the swoop bike. We got to hit the Mandalorian swoop bike. The blogger photos were shown. Supposedly it's starting to ship. Someone was saying in the chat earlier that it's actually starting to ship for them. So this is it. This is the Mandalorian swoop bike, final product. Even though we don't have Chrome Mando yet, but we shall, and it shall be in my collection. I know that. The swoop bike. Carlos, I actually want to start with you first on this one before Sir Keco, just because I know this is one you're going to pick up, aren't you?
Yep. So this is a piece I really do like. It's going to be vehicles is a really high priority on my what I give a fuck about list. And this happens to be second, I believe this is what it is. So it's like statues, vehicles. So I really like this. I'm going to definitely, without a doubt, pick this up. But like everything, this was during that COVID time and things were slowing down. So I'm assuming there's going to be a whole ton. Am I going to wait 2-3 years for this or a year? Probably not. Maybe 2 months from now, I'll probably pick it up. Probably right before the end of Christmas, just because I believe heavy sales will happen during that time. I really like it. I'm going to buy it. You know, like everyone says, I'm just going to put it in my box for the next few years because apparently I don't display anything, but I'm going to collect the box. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm really interested in this. So yeah.
Well, Carlos, you think for $285, you think you're getting good value here?
No, I think something because I had the speeder bikes. I think if you can find this for 200 or under, you pull the plug, because you have to remember that if you're getting like 25% off from Sideshow, it's not really 25%. Yes, you get 5% in rewards, but at the moment, you still have to pay 25% minus your tax rate. In California, that's pretty close to 10%. And other places might be a little bit different. So you kind of have to factor that in. It's not really 25% or whatever it is. This is going to be on discount. Not 285, like I said, 200 or under. I think you're in a really good spot. And honestly, for a speeder bike, I think that's fine. That should be a good deal. I'm sure that you can maybe find one lower.
This shot, Carlos, looks like a still from the show. I mean, this is a
this looks really good.
This is like a Keco photo. I mean, because this is like really, really cool. I mean, this and that's not even Chrome Mando. So
yeah, no, it's not.
So, anyway.
It's not.
So I mean, this is a really cool photo.
Yeah,
that's the regular Mando. Yeah.
I really like I said, I like it. So I can't wait for it. I'm gonna put this right behind the N1 when Hot Toys makes it. I know Keco thinks they're not, but they are. So I'm gonna put it right there because I believe the N1 is coming and this will look nice next to it. So.
Well, we got Brandon Altman in the chat saying this swoop bike came in today for him. So I don't know. I guess Sideshow is shipping it. So first batch Sideshow. So I know Keco is actually Mr. Sideshow now. So Keco, the swoop bike, bro, you're gonna have to fill us in on this one. Oh, you're muted too.
Sorry, I fell asleep on this release.
You slept on the swoop bike. Come on.
Okay, I've been pretty open about this. There are two vehicles in or will need to be in my collection: DeLorean and Carlos's Ecto 1. Those are the only two. So between those two, I don't have room for other vehicles or things like that. I have the speeder bike, and I hate that I have it because I can't properly display it. These vehicles are really cool. They photograph very, very well, and if you have the right display for it, cool, that's great. But they take up a lot of damn real estate, and I'm almost
like two figures, right?
What's that?
Like
it's probably 2 to 3 figures, 2 to 3, yeah.
2 to 3, yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like width-wise. It's not fitting in your DTOF. You can't do that. You have to put it on like a bookshelf, and you have to put it on mod. I mean, you have to have the right casing for it, which I don't have, and so maybe that's the part that I'm salty about. But between this, the speeder bike, I'm even a little bit hesitant on the blurred just because of the tail, the bark speeder, with the scout trooper and things like that. I just can't do the vehicles. I really can't, just because I don't know if you're getting a lot with. I mean, this is about as bare bones of a vehicle as you can get. It literally is just some plastic pieces put together. I think, like Carlos said, around that 200 mark is probably what's about right for this. This is kind of bat pod-ish, if you want to call it that. Just very, very bare bones, very thin.
Do you have the bat pod?
I don't have any other vehicles except for the DeLorean and Carlos's Ecto.
Carlos's Ecto 1.
Those are the only two.
so flimsy as fuck.
I remember you said it was flimsy.
I saw it at Replay
It's
Toys,
so
my toy store, and I was like, because I got all the Dark Knight figures, all of them, but I don't have the Batpod or the
Tumbler.
the tumbler, because I'm like, even if you can get a great deal on that, I just don't have this. That is some big real estate, and I was like, I'd rather have a nice statue, and so that's what I like to do. We'll talk me into that,
bro. This is gonna be
this
$100 on Black Friday. Watch Toys Wonderland.
Yeah, and once again, you get a brand new Grogu if no one's ever had one of those before.
Yeah, right. But so I understand. I think I'm like right in the middle on this one with you guys, because I get where you're coming from. Yeah, like this is a lot of real estate taken up here. It's a footprint, right? It's something to consider because there's a lot of length or width depending on how you're displaying this. If you have it on a shelf and you have it kind of facing you and then it's just kind of like off the shelf, that's not too bad. But if you have it sideways, displaying the whole thing like Mando in this shot, it's going to take up a lot of space. And if you have a Maji case, that's going to take up room that you could probably fill 2.5, 3 figures with. So you have to make that decision. $285, I don't feel like is too crazy for this. Like you said, it's just like the Batpod, and this has probably more going on than the Batpod does. So I don't know. I mean, it's that type of figure that is clearly not for everyone, but at the right price, it is going to be. So I think this is like the Blurg Keco, where the Blurg, no one gives a shit about the Blurg until the Blurg is like 40% off, and then everyone's like, I want a Blurg now, right? That's what's going to happen with the Swoop bike.
I want the Blurg and Queel. That's the one I have pre-ordered, is the Blurg and Queel. I don't need Blurg and Mando, but I do want the Blurg and Queel.
But like with Keco, with this Swoop bike, I think it's a matter of like $285. It's reasonable. Like I think that's about right going on the market prices these days. But like the Batpod, everyone knew you didn't have to pay $285 for the Batpod. You can just wait for it to be discounted and it'll be 30% off probably. Same goes for this. This is probably going to be, what do you think, Carlos? 20-30% off at some point?
No,
I think this will sit
from Toys Wonderland or Sideshow.
From Sideshow, or both, really. Anywhere you can get it. I mean,
Toys Wonderland, this would be 100 to 140, right? Something like that during Black Friday.
140. Toys that's Wonderland, tempting for me at that point.
Before shipping.
Shipping.
Then this from this from Sideshow, easy 25% off minimum, easy free shipping Black Friday.
Maybe by Christmas time.
Because if they are discounting their quarter scale Iron Man the day it releases, they're gonna discount this in Black Friday, so easily.
Yeah. So at that point, I think people should be on the lookout for it. But I think we all agree it looks cool, right, Keco? It's a cool piece.
I thought the Anakin speeder engine bike was a lot cooler than this.
Honestly. Gotcha. That's fair. But I
think someone in the comments called it the Blandalorian, and I agree.
That's a good one.
That's true. Keco's on fire today. Guys, this was one of the things that we got in the poll that I did, where I just included every topic that was on there. Should collectors worry about the longevity of their figure? Because this is something that I think a lot of us don't think about. Because there's two ways of looking at this. There's a way of looking at it like, I just want to enjoy my figure and enjoy it while it's here. Because like Vision said, a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts forever, right? It's true. It doesn't last forever. We all wither away and perish at some point, just like our hot toys. But I want to share some horrible examples real quick. Like this, right? This is a crotch, a peeling crotch of a Terminator figure. This is not my Terminator figure, thank God, but this is just one I found on Google. This is the DX13. I need to check on mine actually, but I don't think it's peeling. Last I checked, right? But it's a DX figure. It's a battle damage figure. So this is not the end of the world for this particular figure, but it's not exactly exciting or good or ideal. But for a normal figure that's not battle damaged and you have a lot of peeling and degradation, that's not exciting. And that's very frustrating, where you have to get, a new figure or custom jobs done, whatever, right? So
like the Winter Soldier.
Perfect example. And you have to pay about, I think it's $300, $350 to get that real leather. So that's more than the figure cost.
Shipping, leather.
Right. So you're probably getting out anywhere near $400 at that point. And then you already paid $250 for the figure, if not more. So it's, considering what it goes for now. So Carlos, what do you think? Should collectors maybe worry is not the right word, but maybe consider it long term with these? They are investments. I mean, you're making money on it, but they're commitments of money you're making.
I mean, I feel that we should all, for all things, even if it's collecting or not, we should take care of the things that we own. Like, it's pretty easy. Now, I wouldn't stress about it, right? Like, oh my God, my figures are going to peel, but I would take the proper precautions to try to take care of it in the easiest way possible. And if it still messes up after that, hey, you did what you could. An easy way of doing so is by going on Amazon and buying a humidity and temperature sensor. It's literally $5 to $10, right? You want your humidity to be anywhere between like 30 to 35%, and your temperature to be about 70 to 75%. That's what I have all the time in my room where my shit is at, and things have not been peeling. I have that Ghost Rider, right, with that the Nicolas Cage one. It's not peeling. Everything's good. Every 6 months or 12 months, I get the 303 wipes. I wipe them up. Fine. You don't have any problems. I do have a dehumidifier in that room as well, and that's all I do, right? So this will start flaking. So if the humidity is too high, then it's going to start peeling, right? It's going to start flaking off. Anything above 35% typically. If your humidity is too low, like in Arizona, then things are going to start cracking over time. You're going to start getting a lot more dust in your figures. So there has to be a certain amount of humidity. Like I said, my dehumidifier, I just empty out the filter, which is just a bucket of water every 1 to 3 days, depending if we're mopping or cleaning, whatever it may be. Or Becca's doing it because she does that. And then that's pretty much it, man. Like it's I don't mop. Unfortunately, I'm not really good at it. But yeah, so that's all I do, right? So $10 sensor. You have one, Will, if you want to one of those, and it tells you humidity.
Like. My humidity is too high right now. It's 61%.
61, right? So you want that about 30 to 35 and 70 to 75 degrees. If you're doing that, like 90% of your figures should be taken care of. And the really old ones, once a year, get 303 and wipe them, and you don't have to worry too much about the longevity of your figures at that point. So minor investment, small headaches, goes away. So
yeah, those are some good tips. Well, what about you, Keco? Do you do anything like to preserve the longevity and integrity of your figures?
There's a lot that you all just said there that I'm not going to repeat, just because it's pretty much the exact same thing. Is that anything you make that's yours, your property, should be handled as such. I mean, no one goes there and walks into someone's collection room and starts playing with stuff, because it's not theirs, and you want to take nice care of your stuff. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, if it's yours, you take care of it. It's that simple. But I'm going to go a little bit further. I want to enjoy mine. I take mine out to pose them up and do different things. I do not do the gloves. I know some people are really about the gloves, and no hate on those that do it. I don't see the point in doing that, but if that makes you feel good, by all means. If what you're doing gives you joy, then keep doing. If it stresses you out, then rethink what you're doing. Am I doing too much? Am I worrying too much? Am I not getting joy from this anymore? If it becomes a chore to do any of your maintenance on your figures or even collecting, then always reevaluate, because I don't think there's much more you can say. Is that, do you need to worry about it? I mean, yeah, you don't want to literally just like have water dripping from the ceilings and black mold, in your cases and such. I mean, that's terrible, but I wouldn't worry too much, because you look at the things, we're only here for a short period of time, 70, 80 years if we're lucky, and then, our figures may even outlast us, to be honest. And yeah, you may want to pass them down to your kids and things like that, but it's the memories you make with them along the way, I think, is what means more. Do some photos, have some fun with them. And at the end of the day, I mean, they're just things, enjoy the time that you have making the memories with them.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually, because both you guys raised really good points. There's always that fine line of like taking things too seriously and not taking things seriously at all. And I feel like that middle ground, like pretty much anything in life, that moderation, that the happy medium is where we want to live, right? So I think
I do want to say, I'm a little worried that you all keep it 70 plus in your house. I keep mine 68. I
60,
can't go.
No, that's cold. I keep mine on 70.
Yeah. No way. 70. This is mine. 34 and 35 now.
Yeah,
34 and
62.
And I'm sweating 70. Looking at your all's temperature right now.
Mine's 73 right now, but it's 62%. So I need a dehumidifier essentially. Yeah. So
that's so if you honestly, if these numbers like 65 to 75 degrees, 30 to 35% humidity, like I said, you probably don't even need a 303 wipe. You just have that and just enjoy your
most
figures.
People,
you don't have to wear gloves and you're good.
Yeah, a lot of people, it really is regional and where it is. I mean, if you live in the rainforest and things like that, yeah, you might want to have to take a few more precautions. But if you're living with AC and things like that, and you have a fairly climate-controlled home, I mean, there's not much.
Well, it's not the climate control, right? It's a humidity. So even if you're in Arizona, you don't need a dehumidifier. You need a humidifier to control it, to bring it up to 30 to 30.
It's all regional though. You need to take the right stuff per region.
Right, exactly. So just $10, that tells you where it's at. Like here, it went up because my room or where my shit is at, it's the humidity is at 30%, 35, but yeah, so it's just different.
Well,
so
guys, great thoughts on that one. And
we're
longevity
scientists,
figures.
y'all.
Yeah, see, we're doing it. We're doing it. So, guys, let's talk about something that is a little bit exciting, I think, but also pretty interesting, like pretty much every topic, especially Hulkbuster. So, are InArt figures likely, keyword likely, to sit or to be discounted? Because I've heard this idea thrown out there a bunch, right? About InArt figures. Well, they're expensive. They're going to be discounted. They're going to sit. You're going to be able to pick them up later. You're going to be able to use coupons, whatever. And I've been wrong about many things in my life, but this one I'm not sure these are going to be super readily available upon release, because Queen Studios has not, and InArt have not really communicated that is their plan. Maybe we don't know. We're going to see how what happens when the Joker drops soon. Apparently this month, but I guess we're going to find out. Spec Fiction is what I'm sharing right now on my screen because a lot of these figures went back up for pre-order because of cancellations. The same thing happened with 1/6 Kit where he had cancellations. He put them back up for a couple days. People were freaking out a little bit, but you got an option to pre-order some more figures. I pre-ordered a second Pennywise with Kit, so I'm very happy about that because he has great prices shipped. So Spec Fiction, you can still go on there right now and pre-order any InArt figure that you want. So he said some cancellations, you can get what you want, but we don't know if that's going to be the case or they're going to sit or be discounted just because they're expensive. It depends how good, I guess, they come out. But Carlos, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think? Is InArt likely to sit or be discounted and or be discounted?
That's going to be a harder one, right? Because, all right, so
no precedent to go off of.
Yeah. If the Joker comes out and the invoices start coming out in December, like, okay, if they start coming out now, let's say, because the first batch is supposed to come out soon, then we might get some because a lot of people are waiting on Black Friday. They're waiting on Black Friday. They're trying to see what's going on. They're trying to save their money. So it might. However, I've seen the final. We've all seen the final of the Joker, the rooted version. I believe once people start getting it in hand, start taking regular photos, right? Like, so non-professionals like Keco, right? Like, we're not all Keco, right? So all of our photos that will look normal, those start looking really good. Then that's going to start the domino effect, which I keep calling that, of people starting to buy these more and more, right? Right now, I think it might sit until the first wave of people start getting them, but I don't think this is going to be like a hot toy thing where they are going to make where it's going to sit for years or like a year or two. Because from what I've been told from Queen is that they're only making essentially what the retailers bought and what they was pre-ordered, right? So I don't believe these are going to sit for a really long time. They might sit like everything, but not like a hot toy. So I want to make sure that's not like, I'm not going to say that these are going to be like a hot toy where things are just going to sit like that. You know what I mean? But it's just difficult to say because obviously there's no market for it. But I strongly believe, like I said, once that Joker comes out, people start getting it in hand, people are going to be like, oh shit, this is really good. They might start canceling some hot toys and actually try to jump on these. So yeah, that's I guess I will say for that.
Yeah. And I'm mostly with you there. I don't think these are going to sit in stock for long periods of time personally, but I could be wrong. I originally said coming into this that I didn't think people would pay these type of prices, and I was proven wrong. And I myself have proven my own habits wrong because I didn't think I would want to pay these prices, but I have because of quality, and quality tends to win out more often than not. As far as prototypes are concerned, again, we have to keep saying that these are not final products. That we've seen some finals, but we don't have them in hand yet, right? So as far as prototypes go, they are incredible. We will see how the final products turn out, but we just don't know yet. But I will say that they have our attention, right? I can just tell people from, looking at the analytics from my own videos, from streams and otherwise, InArt videos get views. I can just tell you that. Like, people are paying attention to InArt. When InArt drops something And it's, maybe at one of their events, it's all over Reddit. It's all over the Facebook groups. InArt has people's attention right now. So, and I don't think this is going to be super, super mass produced where it's like, you're going to get a ton left over in stock. They might make 15,000 Jokers, but that doesn't mean it's going to be readily available when it comes out. It might be. It might not be. I would bet my money on the latter that it's not going to be. But Keco, what do you think? Are InArt figures going to be likely to sit or be discounted? I think you have the Joker on pre-order, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's coming from Kit as well.
Nice.
The rooted 2-pack, that's the one I went with. And so when that comes here, here's my thing. Will it be discounted? It all depends on the retailer or the resellers, how many they bought. If they bought too many and they're like, oh shit, then they'll certainly, because they don't want to move them. I think originally when they first come out, then there's going to be a rush because everyone wants them. But once they get in people's hands, and if there's something that they don't like or there's an issue, that's the only thing that would cause a pause. To be like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just saying, for example, I got the Joker. It was a piece of shit. Not what I thought it was going to be. Absolutely, I'm not continuing with my Bruce, my Batman, my Gandalf, whatever. And then they'd be like, until they improve on this, until they address these concerns, I'm not pre-ordering another thing. That's the only thing that would stop that. But I think there will be a rush for the hype because it'll be the first figure. I don't see any issue of of a Joker being discounted. I honestly don't, because I know that. And then there was that relist issue that people were worried about, like, okay, yeah, pre-orders are done. They're like, oh, just kidding, pre-orders are back. And I know that breeds some distrust, because people are like, okay, what's going on? It's gonna be a fun few months once it starts, just to see how it is, because I can't wait to see people getting butthurt. We're like, I bought this for full price and they're already selling it for $750 for the rooted hair version. And that's coming. That's coming.
Yeah. If it does happen, then indeed, Keco. But you could also see the flip side of that for the people maybe that were naysaying a little bit, and then this sells out. And they're like, oh, looking for a good price, right? You could also see that too. So we really don't know because we don't have
to pay retail or below.
Right, exactly. So you could see we don't have a precedent to go off of to judge this, so we really don't know how this is going to go. When Joker drops, hopefully at the end of this month or maybe even next month, and it starts shipping out and people are getting those invoices, then I think we're going to find out if people, for one, put their money where their mouth is and actually pay the $1,000 that they thought they wanted to pay, and then now they're going to be required to follow through or not. And then also we're going to see if the people who didn't want to follow through, and then you start seeing more final reviews besides just Justin's, and you start seeing like Man of Hot and all these other reviewers get these figures and they say they're awesome. Then at that point, and you start seeing them in the groups, and like Carlos said, non-Keco professional photos, when you start seeing that type of stuff and people like every day in hand photos and they look great, or they look the opposite like shit, then that's going to start swaying people. But
essentially, if you're paying $1,000, and this happened with the Prime 1 Joker, right? If you're paying $1,000 for 2 figures, diorama, and everything it comes with, it's still $1,000, right, for the whole set.
Yep.
You want to make sure it looks good from all angles, right? Whether it's a really bad photo or a really good one, right? We're going to be able to judge that, but that's going to be a huge factor, like Keco said, for sure.
Yeah. And I think we're going to find out. But I think overall answers are, I'm in a no boat. Are you guys in the know that these are going to be discounted? Heavily, at least.
No, not heavily, no.
Yeah. Maybe you might get a 5 to 10% at some point, but I don't even think that's
something like that, yeah.
So anyway, guys, let's continue this train, this InArt train, this hype train. To what level does InArt Joker need to deliver to justify the price? Because you guys have sort of hit on this point in passing on the topic we just covered, right? This is $1,000, like you said, Carlos. $1,000, you're getting 2 figures, you're getting some diorama bases with jail bar cells that are real metal, die-cast weapons, you're getting supposedly a wood jail cell base with the bench and everything, 2 figures, rooted hair, movable eyes. You're getting a lot that goes with it, and a lot of cool, I guess you could say, maybe not innovation to a degree, but like stepping the bar up or raising the bar, saying like premium materials. You're aligning a premium quality for what you're paying, at least that's what they're marketing, right? So I was going to start with Keco on this one. Keco, to what level does InArt have to deliver for you to be happy here? Because this is $1,000, like I mentioned. So this is not what we're used to paying for even a 2-pack. Like the Boba 2-pack is what, 500? The Batman Superman 2-pack, 500 something. So this is about double than what we're used to. So Keco, what are your expectations? Like what level do you need to be delivered in hand for you to be happy here?
I may go against the grain here, and I think for the 2-pack rooted 2-pack with all the stuff you get, I think it's fairly priced. Just going to be out there and say that, just because you're getting 2 different sculpts with roots, 2 different diorama bases with innovation, different outfits, and packaged to come to me. And I mean, that's everything you get. If I get that, I'm gonna feel with the prices of things right now, with Baby Groot being $300. Sure, you give me this and it gets here safely, and it's what was displayed originally. And if everything is all that the prototype is shown to be and the final product to be, I will be happy, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if they're giving you what has been advertised, you feel like you got your money's
fulfill
worth.
your advertisement and I'll be okay.
Okay. So yeah, that's a simple request. Yeah, like basically fulfill what I pre-ordered and I'm happy. But
I just don't want the issue from, Jingle All the Way when he's like, oh, you don't want to open that. And he opens up the thing when he's in the warehouse and it's like, or whatever it is. He's like, it's a multilingual version. I don't want an issue like that where I open it up and the head falls off or something.
Carlos is
like, it's fun and educational.
Right. So I get that. Yeah. And I'm also thinking, Keco, of like maybe the people that weren't as eager to kind of put their money down on something that was unproven. So I'm wondering to what level we need to deliver for them. But I think there will be some people that I think will never be happy. I mean, I think that, no matter how good this figure is, there'll be some people that'll be like, well, it doesn't have this or it's too expensive. Then even if the quality is there, they'll go for the price. But the same people could be said on the other side that maybe love everything in art that could be like, well, this figure is great. And all the people who disagree are just dumb or blind or whatever. So you got both sides, I feel like. But Carlos, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah. What level do you think needs to be delivered here for yourself and for everyone to pretty much be happy?
Yeah. I think, what they've advertised so far, I think, and I said it the other day, on Lael's stream that, look, $1,000, I'm never going to say that, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to say fairly priced because based on what we're seeing, it's more like
competitively.
It's $1,000.
Yeah,
like this is a cell phone. This is 3 years worth of maintenance for my car. This is it's a ton of stuff, right? That you can use $1,000, right? Then I use the same logic for like statues and everything, right? So for a figure, something that I'm going to use is for like my fun money, my fun things, right? That's fine. It needs to deliver because I just feel like at times we can just easily let things go, which is one of the things I'm not trying to do with Hot Toys, and I definitely wouldn't let that happen or be okay with it for InArt, right? Because especially for 1,050, I understand that it's not one figure for 1,000. You're still having to spend $1,000 regardless to be able to get your hands on a rooted Joker. So because of that, they need to deliver and promise everything, make sure that there's no problems with this. And honestly, same can be said about a Hot Toy, but obviously this is 3 times the price, right? So because of that, it doesn't need to be 3 times as better, but you better make sure that everything is well taken care of, packed correctly, the articulation is there, everything is there and done correctly because of the price point. I'm never gonna say like, oh, this is priced, amazing because it's $1,000. Like it's still 1,000. It's a lot of money. But for like what Keco was saying, if you bring us what was advertised, then I guess we can say, hey, this is fine, right, for the price. So
right, and
I don't think they can under deliver. So
right, and to put a nice bow on this conversation, let's make a quick prediction here. Do we think it's going to deliver? Because I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say based on Queen Studios' track record in statues, not figures. I get it, but they've shown the final product so far, right? And just from like the Queen Studios quarter scale Joker that I have right behind me, the thing is incredible. It's beautiful. It's the best Joker head sculpt I've ever seen. It's just amazing. And I think Queen and InArt are going to nail this. So my prediction is that people are going to be satisfied with this, and I think they're going to nail the other figures they put up for pre-order too, because they don't have a way out to not do that. Because if they do that, no one's going to trust them. If they don't do that, rather, if they do not deliver this Joker figure as advertised, no one is going to trust them and be willing to pay premium prices for a less than premium product. So it's advantageous for them in every way possible to deliver on this, and I think they can. Because if they don't, they're going to be fucked. So what do you think, Keco? Do you think they're actually going to deliver?
I think they will deliver, but I also think the collecting community is going to overhype it. And
Gotcha.
I think what's going to happen is that they'll be like, this is the greatest thing on the planet Earth. Goodbye, hot toys and things like that. And then
Sure,
there'll be
sure.
somebody that will base their opinions on what someone said, and then they will be let down because they were overhyped. You know, that's the only. It'll be like a wave essentially of not false advertising, but false expectations brought on by unrealistic hype. There you go.
Gotcha. What do you think, Carlos? You think they're going to deliver?
No, I think they're going to deliver, um, 100% because it's their first figure, and will make no sense for them not to deliver. What's promised. I agree. Again, I agree with Kiko. Right, what he said. I think we're going to get those waves. But yeah, I just don't. As a company, if you don't deliver this, it's basically what's the word I'm looking for? You're committing, you're gonna set yourself
Cross the
back.
Rubicon.
Yeah, whatever that means. So yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, this last thing I'll say is that
Yeah.
this could be the pinnacle of InArt, and everything is always held to this standard, and it goes downhill potentially because everyone will
It's
be like,
like
well, because everyone put so much effort into the first one, and it's going to be hard to keep that high production value.
You know what's funny?
Could
It's
be.
that all vehicles I've gotten so far, I'm like, how does this compare to the Blitzway Ecto 1? Kiko, you don't have it. So how does that compare to that?
He will, though.
And I was like, and it doesn't compare to it. It's just so high that it's like everything.
I know, because when you have that
never as
piece,
good.
I mean, everyone looks towards that, and it's always held. I mean, kind of like the Dark Knight film. You know, everyone's like, "Well, it's not as good as the Dark Knight." You know, that's just the way it works.
do that.
You know, it's the way it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I do that unfairly, but yeah, I do. So, but guys, great thoughts on that one. So let's move into our next topic here. And this is one I actually threw to the community on my community tab on my YouTube channel, asking, is Hot Toys quieter than usual? And people seem to be a little receptive to it. Is there any cause for concern? And I don't think that with this topic, I had the intention of going like, is Hot Toys going to go out of business? Because I don't think there's any evidence for that. And it's purely speculation. We would have no idea. There's no way of knowing, right? But I think the way I want to approach this topic is that, the lack of things that were getting announced each week, not just for pre-order, but for release, right? We're not really getting I feel like, I don't know if it's typical or not. I don't have the data to support that claim, but it just feels like there's not a lot of, at least on my end, not a lot of news to cover. So I don't know if there's any cause for concern in that sense, and that Hot Toys are just having a lot of delays. Maybe it's just that time of year. Maybe they got other shit going on. I don't know, but there's a lot of things they're being expected to make right now for Disney. Right? There's Marvel shows all the time. There's Star Wars shows all the time. They're trying to make some DC. Like I said, and I've maintained they don't really do much with DC. Maybe they want to do more, but they can't. That could be possible. So I'll start actually with you, Carlos. Is Hot Toys, do you feel like they're any quieter than usual? Do you have any concern with that at all?
Yeah. So I do think they are quieter than normal. Do I think there's any concern? No. I think the problem is that, okay, we've always, and I've been saying they're going to scale back. They're going to start making smaller and smaller batches, not because of the pre-orders, because pre-orders don't dictate how many they were making in the past, but because they realize things are sitting. Sideshow doesn't want this, so they're going to make smaller and smaller batches, right? So because of this, they understand, okay, well, then we need to catch up. Then there needs to be a way of getting all this product out there, right? Catch up on their stuff. And I think that's what's going on. They're slowing down on releases or announcements so they can catch up on releases, make smaller and smaller batches because of it. I strongly believe that what's going to happen is in the next 3 to 6 months or so, they're going to start announcing more and more figures, but they're going to be smaller and smaller batches, like the Stealth Suit Captain America that Sideshow only got 300 of. Because that's the only way they're going to be able to still make good amount of money, still sell a lot of volume, but not have things sit. So we might start getting a ton of these like, Mace Windu and all these other things, Padme, all these other things that people have been wanting for, smaller batches, more different characters. And I think that's what we're going to see more of. But right now they're taking their time to catch up. That's what it is. And I think moving forward, once they're starting to catch up, we're going to see smaller batches on more and more characters, because that's going to do better than creating 10,000 Mace Windu, right? As maybe we'll just make 1,000 of it and, move on from there, keep making, other ones and more characters. So.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, what about you, Keco? Do you think there's any cause for concern? Have you noticed any perceivable difference at all?
I think we'd be all lying to ourselves if we didn't notice something was
Mm.
amiss. But two things I'll say. When my boys and my wife text me and everything, and I don't respond, it's because I'm working. So hopefully, because no one's saying anything, they're working and they're getting things done.
That's a good point.
That's what I'm hoping. That because there's no response, because we got some things in the pipeline. But kind of like what Carlos just said as well, with all these different things going, there's a great guy, I think he's on Facebook, Jurgens or whatever, that does all those spreadsheets about announcements and releases. And he showed that it's within this margin of the usual release amount of figures, the same amount of figures released each year as it was last year. No cause of concern there. What is the cause for concern is the pre-order and the reveals or announcements, if you want to call it that. That is up exponentially. I think 20% more is what his little spreadsheet showed, is that this year has been 20% more releases than there was last year. I'm sorry, announcements as there were last year. Now, I don't know all those details. I don't know their spreadsheets. I don't know any of that. But if there's something, as I've said on multiple streams, if they're going to go to a pre-order only model or they're going to reduce batches, you need to let your consumers know that, because we make those decisions based on, okay, I'll just get this, when it releases. I'll just get this, when it's on sale. The last thing you want is the customer and the consumer to be pissed when they're not available and you have the stealth suit cap issue to where no one can get it, and then they just get pissed at the retailer and the distributor and all that stuff because no one communicated, or it was communicated terribly. So if they're going to go to smaller batches, let us know, pre-order model, and we'll be on top of that. If they do, just communicate. That's it. That's all I can say.
Okay. And I know
I think they've been saying that without saying it.
But you can't do that. You can't assume, like, hey, did you read my mind? No one can assume that, because then you'll try to you never make a business decision or a move on an assumption. You have to have the hard facts on that, because then you'll end up like getting yourself completely, screwed one way or the other. Either you'll go all in and lose, or you'll hold out and lose. And there'll be a lot of people upset on either side of the aisle. Just be straight, communicate. I mean, there's every other company does that. Be like, hey, look, we're only making 10,000 of these, and we're going to open up pre-orders till the 31st, and once that's it. People will respect that. I would respect that, and I can plan. People can plan that way.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're telling us that without like the Arena Boba Fett, or even saying, hey, there's 300 caps available. I've said, I think after the holidays and Q1, that Sideshow is going to come in and say, hey, for most of our figures, there's going to be a time pre-order. I don't even think they're going to come out and say it. I think you're just going to start seeing it. So they're telling you without telling you. Like, hey,
because the waitlist stuff is starting to get a little alarming. Waitlisted pre-orders are starting to get a little alarming, but it's not like it's the first time they've ever done that, because from my sources have said that they did that ever since like the Winter Soldier days. So I can't confirm that the waitlisted pre-order items has been something that Sideshow has done since the Winter Soldier days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I guess Keco, they do it on as needed basis, in reaction to the market. So since, it's a recession, there's a lot of oversaturation. They probably change their tactics based on what's going on with the market. Before COVID, a lot of people were probably buying like crazy. Like you had Infinity War and other things coming out, and people were probably buying a lot of collectibles. Then COVID happened, and then they overproduced everything because they overestimated what the market was for it and how many people were buying, and then it blew up in their face. So that seems to have been what happened. But Carlos, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think exactly that's what happened. I mean, right now, you and I talked about this, something called a SWOT analysis. So it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if you would put Hot Toys as a potential, product for Sideshow, there's literally no opportunities other than they make Marvel and Star Wars license. So they can make those figures. Aside from that, nothing negative. So yeah, I think that's what it is. I think we're going to see smaller and smaller batches. So.
Yeah, I think we will. And that's actually going to lead us into our next topic. And I'm glad you guys mentioned it, because I'm an idiot and forgot to put it on the docket. This is the Hot Toys Stealth Suit Captain America. This should have been the topic we led with, honestly. But I don't know how no one reminded me. Guys, you're going to have to start messaging me on Instagram or something and let me know, remind me to bring this stuff up. Because when you guys said that, I was like, damn it, I forgot to mention Stealth Suit Captain America. So This caused a Tennessee tornado in the community
Hey.
because I was watching the groups. This was crazy, especially the sideshow group, because the sideshow group, I don't know if I've ever seen people this mad. This was like people were really upset about this. Because originally supposedly what people said in the community was that the RSVP list, the 300 were only going to be 300 on a discount. Then it was going to be available for everyone else. Then suddenly it became, it went up for pre-order or up for order. And they were like, oh no, they're actually only 300. And everyone was trying to buy them. And the website was crashing for hours and people were having the most frustrating experience. And I was like, guys, if you're frustrated by this, I don't know if you ever tried to buy a PS5, but it's just like this. And I've experienced that same frustration. I know exactly how that is. It's very difficult. I think in 1/6 collecting, we're not as used to this because this has not been our world or our reality. But this might be something moving forward that this becomes a thing. And Carlos, I want to let you go first on this one because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think I remember you saying that this actually went well for Sideshow. I want to hear you explain that again because there's a lot of pissed off people right now. But what do you think? Can you explain the logic of that one?
Yeah. So it went well. So in the sense of when you're trying to make a test, and I believe this is really what it was from Sideshow, you're looking at from a small sample size, right? You don't go into it and say, hey, we're going to promote this and we're going to make 1,000 of them and see how it goes, right? What I mean is it was successful for them because now they understand that exclusivity matters. It didn't go well for them as far as like the engagement, right? But those negative comments have stopped. People aren't out, people haven't banned Sideshow and they're never going to buy from them again. So this led to one day, maybe 2 days of bad PR, but it gave them a ton of confidence that they can do this again, up the price, and give you a 30% coupon when probably those figures are going to be 30% or off or more on Black Friday. So they're just getting you to buy early, right? So that's what I mean that this was successful. They now understand that because if exclusivity didn't matter to this community, people wouldn't have gotten us upset. Because I can tell you right now, 100%, I'm not even like, 80, 100%. If this figure would have just been available just to buy, it will still be fucking available. Okay?
Yeah, it would.
Look at the Iron Man Mark 46. That fucker's still sitting.
And that's a beautiful figure with that base.
Exactly. So that's why exclusivity does matter. People say they don't, and I understand collecting. Love of collecting comes first, but so does exclusivity. It comes close second, right? So because of that, I think Sideshow won. I think Sideshow has been finally able to say, hey, a figure that would sit, that we know people probably wouldn't have bought, because it's not like this figure is like $500, $600, $700 in the aftermarket, right? It sold out. But yet that Iron Man Mark 46, we can't sell that fucker. But I guarantee you the Mark 46, if it would have been like, hey, we're only getting 300 right now after this one, that will sell out even faster, right? The only problem the Sideshow did is they didn't anticipate the pushback. They didn't anticipate the pushback of what was going to happen as far as like, the traffic. They didn't anticipate the traffic. So they could have done like a lottery system or something better for this. But I think this was a win for Sideshow, honestly. It sucks for the community. It sucks for those who didn't get it. I understand that. I've missed out on things as well, too. But, hey, they called your bluff where you didn't care about exclusivity.
Maybe, Carlos, this is one where they just greatly underestimated the demand for this piece.
No, it wasn't that. It was that fact that people don't say they don't want exclusivity, and clearly they do. Because this shows it. I'm 100% positive. If they would have ordered like 2,000 of these, this fucker will still be sitting.
Yeah, it would. It would. I agree with you. And I think I'd be willing to bet and speculate that there are a lot of people that wanted this solely because there were only 300. 100%. So I'm sure 100%. There were equal number of people, I'm sure, that were legitimately frustrated because they truly wanted this piece and could not buy it. And I feel bad for those people because that's a tough break. But I also be willing to bet there are a lot of people that say they wanted this, but if it sat, then they wouldn't buy it. Like Mark 47, the people that would pay, when it was sold out, pay $1,000 for it, but then when it's reissued, they don't buy it. So it's exactly. I think that is a point to be made here. So, and I think we'd be silly to to skim over that, because I think that's definitely something that is a reality based on no data, but speculation that I think observably that we can all probably notice.
Yeah.
And
And
I get
really
it. FOMO is a
quickly,
real thing.
yeah. And I know Jassy, you know, really cool dude, said who would buy this at 320? 300 people did, right?
Well, I think, Carlos, that was my other point. If this wasn't exclusive, I think you'd see a lot of complaints about the price, but you don't see any
Yeah,
complaints about the
100%.
price for this one because it's
100%.
sold out so quickly. So that's the focus. It's not the price.
So
but if this
we
were in stock, people would be
complain.
like 320. People would be,
Yeah, we complained because how much was Cobb Van?
300.
300, and it came with nothing. This dude came with 2.0, a gauntlet, and it's $20 more. And look what happened. Like people are like, okay, that little Peggy thing, we've gotten that. The shield, we've gotten that. Like nothing here is revolutionary or something brand new where it justifies the price. I don't think it cost them $100 to make that gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right?
The
But
gauntlet
hey,
is cool, though. I do like that.
It's fucking dope. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it doesn't justify the price.
No.
300? Oh, fuck yeah, 320. Right? So that's the thing. Again, like I'll say it, it's kind of harsh to say it, but Sideshow called the collector's bluff where exclusive doesn't matter. And you guys said it definitely does. So,
right. Well, Keco, what do you think about this? I know you're nodding your head, and I see you and Carlos are in agreement tonight, bro. You guys are parallel in your thoughts tonight. What do you think?
No, I 100% agree with this because I think there's two things I want to say is that, yes, people immediately went to grab this because the email that went out that said only 300, there was a big banner that said only 300, because immediately after this debacle, there were people online saying, I got one, looking to trade. And that's what they were doing, is that they got it as they knew it was a bargaining chip. They're like, if I get this is essentially 2 figures. I can trade this for something I really want. Half the people that got this probably don't really want it or won't even keep it. But it is exactly what the collecting community wants, the exclusivity. I was there trying to do it, believe me. But I already have the original version of this, and I wasn't butthurt because I didn't get this one. If I got it, it was going to be cool. I was going to put the other one on eBay, you know, I'd have an upgraded one. Cool. Not the end of the world for me. And I would even say that while I was sitting there with the server crashes and, you know, in my cart, then it fell out, all those different things. Like I tried for like 3.5 hours. And I'm going to say this. I actually had fun doing it because it reminded me of like an old Funko thing, of Mezco pre-order, you know, where you're like, oh, is it going to work? Is it going to work? This one was like a practice run for me because I had no stakes. It was just fun. If I got it, sweet. And I mean, I was sitting there working, doing my work thing, refresh, server crash, you know, try again. You know, I was just going through the motions. There's some people that really did want it, and that sucks. But this is exactly it got people talking, it got people wanting it, and like they said, they moved the product. And the people that got this, cool. And the people that are going to capitalize on it, even better. But it was fun to me because I think they should do more things about this. I think 300 is a tough number to say, okay, there's only 300, because that is a limited run. I mean, that's a very limited run.
Yeah.
But if you say, okay, 2,000 of these, get your pre-orders in by midnight tonight, let's do that. I'm cool with that. And it'll get people to be like, okay, I'm one of X amount, and people like that. And there's nothing better than when you get your statue or your box or your certificate of authenticity where it says number of that limited run. That's a fun thing to say because I'm an elitist and I love being able to say I have one of something. It's awesome.
Well, we're all elitists, right? We all own $300
yeah, I mean, and this
figures.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but I do think there is something to be said for the thrill of the chase there. You know, there's always, I think we all, to a degree also, we want everyone to have everything, and we want everyone to have the collectible that we want. And ultimately, I do believe that.
Well, I've been on record saying I don't want people to have things that I have. I've been on record saying that.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, true. You don't give a fuck.
I feel different about that. I feel like I do want people to have ability to get this.
Personally.
Like, but when it's supposed to be a Hot Toys exclusive, there should be something exclusive about it.
Yes.
Like everything else,
exclusive in the name.
Right.
Right. So everything else, okay, you have a month to pre-order. Cool. Exclusive. We're only making 500. That's an exclusive now, right? Or we're making 300. So I think due to the name, it should align with what's going on, right? Yeah. I think the Arena Boba Fett was a perfect example. I think if they would have came out and said, hey, we're only making 500 of these, it would have been the same thing. So this is happening.
Well, I feel like the Arena Boba Fett, if that's the case, we don't know how many there were, But that was
Right,
done
we don't.
properly. People are like, "Ooh, this is cool," and then people are like, "Oh, wait, it's going to wait list," and then some started to convert or whatever. This had no chance of getting people that really wanted it a chance. But with the Arena Boba Fett, if you really wanted it, you probably got it. Not from FOMO, but if you really did want it when it was first released, you probably got one.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And with me, like, I've always kind of maintained that I like the idea of people having the opportunity to get what they wanted. But that's kind of where I like the idea of like a time pre-order system. Like with Queen and the InArt stuff, not to come back to them too much, but they put a window up and it's up to the retailers, the resellers rather, to do what they will after that. Like Spec could put more up because he had some cancellations, but Queen had a set window, right, of when you could pre-order. Yeah, they reopened the Joker one apparently. I don't know. It's huge. No one really knows, but I like that idea. And like Carlos had mentioned, the time pre-order thing, I kind of like that. Like, I kind of think that's cool because so it's the best of both worlds, because then, yes, everyone has the opportunity to get the figure, but it's time to still have an exclusive aspect as well. So I think that's a win for everybody. Like, yeah, maybe if you came into collecting a little bit later, you didn't have the opportunity, but that could be said for anything. Where are we going to draw the line with that, right? Are they going to keep remaking the same figure every year? Like we got to draw the line somewhere on that. So to me, I think a time pre-order window would be pretty cool. I actually kind of like that because like I said, you get the opportunity, everyone gets the opportunity who wants it, yet you get something somewhat exclusive also. And I think that's a win. So
yeah.
I think
So
cool.
some people in the chat are saying why aren't these numbered, right? So I just don't think Hot Toys is gonna do that because they understand in the future they could go and reissue these, right, for whatever reason, or make a 3.0 or make it, So like InArt, they've come out and said we're not going to number these, but we're not going to make it again unless we can improve on it. But that's why they're not numbered. But we're only making what's been pre-ordered. So I think that's why they're not going to number it, because they can just come out and say, hey, we're making a 3.0 because now we're going to do a rooted version. Same thing, but just a different sculpt. It's basically like a reissue, right? So I think that's why they're not being numbered. I don't think because Sideshow is going to go and get like 2,000 more of these or something, right? Because that would, if Sideshow was to do that, then hypothetically, let's pretend they go and get like another batch, 500 or 1,000, whatever it is. That would probably be some of the most dumbest business practices I've ever seen in my life. Like all this negative PR to go get another batch or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, guys, excellent thoughts on that one. Like I said, I love seeing what the chat thinks about that and just in general what the community's reaction is to it, because I think it's pretty telling for all of us to understand kind of where we're at mentally with our collecting and just philosophically. So I think
Carlos and I were civil. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, right? We all wore black tees. Come on now. Like this is like,
look at this. This is unity.
This is unity if I've ever seen it in collecting. So guys, we're going to wrap it there. So thank you so much for joining for Lights Camera Collect every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. If you didn't get a chance to watch the whole stream, these will be uploaded in clips. I may even upload them tonight, if not, probably sometime tomorrow. But I want to actually jump to Mr. Keco first. Keco, thanks so much for joining, bro. What's coming up on the channel?
Well, as I told on I was on an Instagram live yesterday, is that with Drago's health issues, I've not made it to YouTube in a while, but that is coming very, very soon. I'm going to be talking about companion pieces, and he's actually featured in my video because he's my companion piece. But I'm going to be talking about what it's like to have a companion piece and how you sort through those. So that's what's on the channel. Make sure to also go over to Instagram because I'm actually doing reels on there from time to time. My latest Hot Rod Iron Man reel has 13,000 plays, which is pretty awesome. That's my first reel that actually took off. Right? Yeah, so yeah, check me out, Keco, which is spelled right there, not the fake version that I put on my little handle there. But yeah, so appreciate having me on, Will. I enjoy hanging out with you. And Carlos, we're gonna figure out that Ecto one day.
Yeah,
buddy.
it's gonna be
so one day.
It's gonna happen. But thanks so much for joining, Keco. Yeah, guys, check out Keco's photos on Instagram and his YouTube videos, both very high quality. And as is living in Tennessee. So yeah, man, Tennessee's great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, lots of tornadoes though. But anyway, Carlos, dude.
Yeah.
A place for collecting on Facebook. I finally got a banner for you because you didn't have a YouTube channel, but now you have a Facebook group. So do you want to tell the people about this maybe?
Yeah. So a place for collecting is a new group that we created, and it's a place where you can share collectibles, talk about, any scale collectible minus all the negative comments, like, the drama, the toxic comments. No one's going to go and laugh at you. That's exactly what we created it for, a safe place to collect. Not only that, we're actually going to do one of a really big giveaway this month. So tomorrow I'm going to announce it, but I guess everyone can hear it now, is we're going to be giving away an OG Mando, right? So that's pretty cool for all everyone who's been active. Our second thing is we're going to be giving away a $25 Sideshow gift card to our top 10 active members in the group. And 3, we're going to be doing a game show where you can win. The first place will get $75, second place $50, and third place will get $25. All those 3 giveaways are going to happen on November 21st at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to announce it officially tomorrow, but yeah, all you have to do is go to a place for collecting, search that on Google, on Facebook, request to join, and you might not be able to make it into the top 10, active members, but that game show where you can win $75 and $50 and all that good stuff, it's all going to be available there. So yeah, join in, and we're giving away some stuff. And next month, December, it's going to be our biggest giveaway so far, so obviously for Christmas. And yeah, look forward. Hopefully everyone joins and has some fun there.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome, dude. Thanks so much for joining as always, Carlos. Like I said, a place for collecting on Facebook. Be on the lookout for that group. Like I said, it's been really great. So I've been in that group. Like I said, I'm a moderator now. So I accidentally started a public chat though. I don't know how I did that, but I became a moderator, Keco, and within like 5 minutes, I accidentally started like a chat with everyone in the group. So I don't know how it happened. Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but it did. So, so anyway, Carlos,
you're in the group, right, Keco?
Yeah, she invited me personally.
Oh, I did, huh? Well, I don't know. Some people left. That's why I was wondering if you were still in there.
I'm there. I'm not active though. I just lurk.
Keco's gonna lurk actively though, so it's fun. Yeah. So, but guys, thanks so much for joining. Like I said, these clips will be on YouTube. There'll be other content coming at you guys. Collectors Mingle is every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that. And like I said, man, we'll do a lot of cool stuff coming up. So yeah, there'll be some other things being added to this channel that I'm still working out. Carlos has given me a lot of great advice among others. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to, providing you guys with some more diverse and unique content. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to review that Kylo Ren helmet, by the way, Keco. So I'm going to, that's going to be pretty fun. And I'll maybe take some photography tips from you. So yeah. But guys, thanks so much for joining. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.